Do you remember Evergrande? It was supposed to be China's melting point, their own Lehman moment. But it's proving to be a Lehman period because Evergrande's troubles continue. They were once the largest property firm in China. Their founder was the country's richest man, but now he's been banned from the financial markets, and that's just the tip of it. Evergrande has been accused of financial fraud, of inflating their annual revenues. Do you know by how much? Almost $78 billion, which makes this China's biggest fraud case. And what's the punishment? So far, it's a fine. Evergrande has been asked to pay $580 million. It's not clear how they will pay this money, though, because the company is bankrupt. Evergrande is valued at $275 million. Their total debt is $300 billion. So good luck paying that fine. China began this investigation around 8 months ago. They found Evergrande had fudged their sales. As a result, they could report inflated profits, almost 63% higher in 2019 and 87% higher in 2020. China's regulators are blaming Evergrande's founder for this. His name is Hui Ka-yan. He graduated from college in 1982. He then worked at a steel factory for 10 years, and in 1996 he started Evergrande. Hui's method of expansion was debt. The country was going through a property boom, so China's state banks were more than willing to help him. He built more than 1,000 housing projects in China, more than 1,000 projects, and in 2009 he took the company public. But trouble started in 2021. That's when China shut the loan tap. So suddenly, Evergrande could not repay its creditors. Their expansion was stalled. That same year, it defaulted on loans. We've heard a lot of speculation since then, a lot of doomsday predictions, but the impact has been largely contained. Which brings us to this fraud case. What message is China trying to send here? That the golden age is over. No more cheap loans, no more regulatory freebies, and no more unchecked expansion. China is saying, look, the bad apples are out. We are punishing Evergrande and its founder, and we are cleaning up the property sector. China's housing minister issued a stern warning this month. He said if developers are struggling, they should go bankrupt.
For real estate enterprises that are severely insolvent and have lost their ability to operate, they should undergo bankruptcy and restructuring following the principles of rule of law and marketization. Actions that harm the interests of the masses will be resolutely investigated and punished, and those who play unlawful games will be held accountable.
Will investors buy it, though? Well, confidence is still low. Property investments fell 9% in January and February. Property sales plunged almost 21%, and new constructions were down 30%. So the answer is no. Investors are not buying it. What is China doing to change that? Last month, a big decision was announced. Beijing made its biggest reduction to its mortgage rates. The idea was to encourage home buyers. They also launched a whitelist mechanism. Basically, a few property developers were identified, the ones with potential. These firms got funds from state banks, but clearly more needs to be done here because the property sector is key to China's growth. This sector makes up 20% of their revenue, 70% of the household wealth, and 25% of China's GDP. Unless this sector revives, China cannot regain its mojo. And a few penalties may not be enough because Evergrande is not the root problem in China. It's a symptom of the larger mismanagement.